Well, hello guys, first Nomad cast of the day. This is my own Nomad-only tournament. So there are some specific... Oh, scoreboard. Some specific rules here will show up to the left for a little while here. Players pick random civ for the first game. And the second game is the loser's home map, but they reverse these random civs. And if it comes to a third game, they will need to... They will still be losers home map, but they will get to pick hidden civ, but no repeat from those earlier random ones. So a bit of a specific set of rules here. No villager fighting allowed, no walling in enemy TC, as villager fighting isn't allowed. And but other laming like walling in resources is okay. Let me remove those rules again now to not obstruct the vision too much here. So looking at the placements here, Gustavvinho, I believe he is Norwegian. If you want to know the rank of the players, use !rank and the player's username in chat and you will see. But I believe this guy is in the 1400s. Places a TC as is customary on Nomad right up against the woodline. Also has easy access to both golds and stones here and even berries, which he will probably discover soon enough with sheep scouting around here. Sheep scouting. Oh, yeah, that's definitely the wrong Bob. Yeah, okay. We'll look the map after then just to have an idea of the elo or rank thingy. Too many Bobs, apparently. Yeah, so I said woodline, golds, stones, and hunt and berries. A great starting spot for Gustavvinho. Let's have a look at Bob. TC and Dog pretty close to each other. It should suggest that the TC maybe went up slightly quicker. If not, no, there's quite a bit of a walking distance here, so never mind. But Bob is with Incas will need fewer houses. And Bob rated at 1245. Okay, I see. That's good to know. Oh, that's a bit of an elo gap indeed. Yeah, that's the seeding system kind of going for that average between current and highest elo. So we'll have some tough matches for the lower sections of the elos. But then again, it's Nomad and we could have upsets simply due to the starting spots and how the game progresses from that. And yeah, I hope lower rated players don't feel too overrun. It's 1200 to 1500 is a bit of a large gap elo-wise, but Nomad being as random as it is, it's still there are still chances, right? So nice TC spot here as well. I have to say it's a bit close to the shoreline. That could be an issue for water fighting later on, but there's wood access. Very important. There's hunt, there's a boar, and then sheep. Let's look at the scouting as well. Not an abundance of sheep here for Bob, but has found another boar as well, so should be off to a good start here. Incas also save a little bit of wood, not needing to build as many houses early on. The house 10 villagers, so that actually saves a little bit of Nomad wood early on for Nomad, so that you can get into fishing ships a little bit quicker. You see the villager count here is even between the two as well, so they are off to a decent start, both of them. It is one more villager for Gustavvinho though, but all in all not that too large of a gap between. Sheep being used for scouting on Nomad as is customary for this map. You don't start with any scout or town center, you need to pick your spot with your starting 3 villagers, and preferably that's right next to a woodline, as most players playing this tournament will be doing. Since they sign up for the Nomad tournament, they probably know a little bit of how Nomad, as far as Nomad goes, Nomad starts go. So, considering it's Nomad, I'm going to fast forward a little bit and see what the feudal age will bring us. Incas, a bit of a mobility option in eagles, otherwise they could go for archers as well, or slingers even, the Incas unique ranged unit, whereas Gustavvinho with the slabs has good eco in the faster working farms to support knights line units like scouts and knights, and slabs have amazing siege, and in Imperial Age the infantry as well is an option with the Drushina unique tech specifically to give infantry splash damage. Or trample damage, I guess it's called. Yeah, villager count's pretty even still. Eco's looking pretty much the same as well in terms of food, which will be needed to click up. Let's see on the fishing ships count here. Gustavvinho with 5, Bob with 4, so no huge upsets there so far. See, yeah, I mean you'll need to find the sheep to be able to scout with them, and Bob hasn't been too lucky with the starting sheep here. May have needed to eat one for food as well. So yeah, scouting intel is somewhat limited for both. See Gustavvinho using a villager as well for scouting purposes here. You'll need houses as well, so why not just as well go for a villager to scout and build houses along the way? Quite common on Nomad as well. Bob now in the lead here, villager wise. They're going up to the feudal age at more or less exactly the same time here. And yeah, eco is a bit stronger for Gustavvinho, but I think that's the farms as well providing some quicker food income, because the villager counts are not that... Yeah, and maybe more fishing ships as well for the food. Alright, we need to slow down a little bit now, because you see Bob immediately investing into water. Now, one thing which could be a good thing to do on water-based maps in any case, when you're planning as to how much to invest into water. Sure, this could just be a defensive measure as well for Bob to have a fire galley close in the event of the enemy attacking. But you'd use one fishing ship to scout the shore and try and find the location of the enemy dock. This will give you some intelligence as to how much the enemy is investing into water, and in this case it's only 6 fish for Gustavvinho. No second dock just yet, so they're pretty similar in the food investment of water here. No obvious advantage there. But if you see only 1 dock and only 6 fish like this, you're probably okay with just going 1 fire galley and move forward and take those out. Maybe 2, just and catch them maybe a little bit off guard. The docks are pretty far away here, so it's not ideal. That's why you'd usually want to scout with the fishing ship first, to know where to go and know how much to invest. Gustavvinho pulls off the fast castle here though, drops the market blacksmith straight away, has the barracks as well, and now goes into the stable. So Gustavvinho playing Nomad more like a land map here. Bit of a wall off as well. He doesn't know the enemy's location just yet, and that's why he's preemptively walling the sides to limit the entrance of enemy aggression here, just in case they are somewhat close. But with mounted units on the field, like what is probably going to be knights, Gustavvinho will have a lot more scouting intel on land as well. Meanwhile, we see Bob sending the fire ship back, actually, but sending another one to the north as well, so there will be some water fighting here, I believe. This looks to me like a second docking villager as well, maybe? Or just scouting from up here. Bloodlines kicking in for Gustavvinho, definitely going for the land aggression here. A few idols here. Whereas Bob drops the market, now has the blacksmith going for the castle age as well. So much food on Nomad, yes indeed. All of these spots here are fish, and there's 225 in each, and then there's berries and hunt. You should never struggle for food on Nomad. Alright, collecting the fire ships here, I like that before moving forward. Must now suspect that the dock is far to the north or something here. This is some scouting here as well, may have some idea about Gustavvinho's location now, considering something was lost here. Gustavvinho still not with anything on water though, so if these 6 fish go down, it's going to be left with 10 on food on land. What is this? Is that hunt sheep and stuff? Yeah. So Gustavvinho finally finds, Bob finally finds the dock here in the north and is going to engage. We'll have to chase these fishing ships. Now let's look at Gustavvinho's scouting knights with the +1 armor. Meanwhile, Bob is on the way up to the castle age. The danger of going knights against Incas is that once they are in the castle age, and here's Bob on stone already, if you drop a castle with Incas, you have access to the unique unit, the Kamayuk, which is basically the best counter probably for cavalry in the whole game, because it's like a halberdier but with extra range. I think it's 1 or 2 melee range for the Kamayuk, and unique unit costing wood and gold, I think, or food and gold, not quite remember. But of course you need to get to it first. And Bob here is with enough stone to drop a castle age on the way here, just 10% away now, and already with spears in the mix. So that's some great awareness, actually, expecting some kind of mounted play from the Slavs. Is it better to chase the fishing ships or to attack the dock? I would say chase the fishing ships, because sure, they won't be efficient if they don't collect any fish, but if you attack the dock, that's going to take forever with feudal age galleys, and if you stay here and attack the dock with your fire galleys, your opponent could always make a demolition ship and send it right into your ships without you noticing if you're busy somewhere else. But whereas if you chase the fishing ships and take them down like here, that's 75 wood lost per fishing ship, and also that food income potential, which will need to be replenished. Well, it doesn't look like Gustavvinho wants to fight on water at all here. Sends some knights out. It's still only 39 to 37, but I think he may have gotten some kills here, which means the actual villager count is 7 ahead for Gustavvinho. But on the other hand, food eco on water is not being challenged from Bob here, so even losing some villagers on land, it only affects other types of eco for Bob here. Bob with walling in here, so the mines are safe for now. I don't see any castle being dropped just yet, but the stone count is definitely there. Very cramped area for Bob, though, not necessarily a good place to be in, and quite a few villagers being committed to walling and repairing here as well. I had to drop so many quick walls, yeah. I understand. And lots of stuff going on there. Spearmen doing work though, although the villagers on stone go down here. Pikeman is in and can help deal with the knights. So Isle villagers now 4 for Bob, that's a bit of the wallers, I guess. And this 7-8 knights forward from Gustavvinho is dealing some serious damage here. Let's look at Gustavvinho's food situation on water. I don't think he has any ships anymore. 1 fisherman, but that's land fishing. No fishing ships at all, whereas Bob has 9 active fishing ships. So still absolutely in the game here. Bob, though, taking losses on land. Now drops a castle to secure this stone, and I love the castle. It's protecting woodline, stones and golds here, however cramped. It secures some nice resources here. And as said, you'll have access to the Kamayuk, which is unique spearman with increased attack range. So 7 attack and 1 range there for the Kamayuk, and the elite with a little bit more attack. Maybe doesn't apply here, but fire ships, or fire galleys rather, doing some work in the north here. What's inside the dock of Gustavvinho? Only 1, so can't really challenge this. But yeah, and Bob adding more fish out of... Is there still only 1 dock, or is it 2? That's 2. Okay, so this is a good dock spot as well, near the corners like this. There's usually more deep fish in these broad areas. So with the castle up and pikemen on the field, looks like Gustavvinho has withdrawn for now. 11 knights though, with the +2 defense. And a monastery up as well, probably to collect some relics for additional gold income here, or to heal the map, obviously. That is actually a pretty late horse color for Gustavvinho. There's already, I guess, 14 farms or so here, 18 farms. And they have Slavs farms that are depleted more quickly because the farmers work faster. So ideally you'd want the horse color before the first few farms, or at least earlier than this, but in the end, with this kind of wood income, it doesn't matter too much. But food eco on land for Slavs is indeed pretty crazy. Bob now going for some galleys as well, going into war galley. This comes down to scouting intel again. If Bob now has intel on the whole shoreline here, has 7 ships total, and from my perspective, that is already a bit of an over-investment on water in the woods and golds, because Gustavvinho actually hasn't redocked yet, and doesn't seem like he minds too much. It's with 3 TCs and going for land economy instead of those crazy slab farms, which is actually viable on Nomad. You could get away with only land economy with slabs. And probably Teutons and Chinese as well with their respective farm bonuses. Villager count's not that dissimilar though, but actual villager count for Gustavvinho, as said, is now 67. It's exclusively land eco for him. Fire ships are being put to some use here. We're gonna take out some houses and mills and deny the eco. And if War Galleys come entering, you could do some raids as well. But at this stage, I think Bob doesn't need to invest anything more into water. Hope he knows that the water control is in fact in place here. Here come 14 knights against pikemen with +1 and +2. Roughly equal numbers. I don't think the knights can do too much here. Well, I mean, it's a decent trade for Gustavvinho here, but it's obviously better for Bob only spending food and wood on the defenses here. No, there looks like a few Kamuyuks in the castle as well, so that's just going to make that defense against cavalry all the more easier. Bob now chases the knights and knows a little bit more about Gustavvinho's outfit there. Sees the siege workshop. What's inside there? Maybe a scorpion or mangonel. Okay. So maybe we're going to try and mangonel push knights and siege push this side. Looking at the scouting of the players, Gustavvinho has expanded a little bit to the gold to the side here, taking some more map control. Whereas Bob is in full control of the water, which is good. You have some food sources there, and now dropping some outposts to try and get some more intel on the map of what's happening on Gustavvinho's side. Always good to have some outposts up on maps like these to see what the enemy is going for and spot the action a little bit before it happens. Here comes a second castle from the Incas player. Incas stone buildings cost 15% less, so towers and castles are, and TCs I guess, are cheaper. That's also 2 TCs for Bob now. That means that the villager count will still lag behind the opponent's 3 TCs and this area over here. But looking at Bob's position, if you, aside from the exposed gold over here, he is going to run out of golds and stones and even woodlines here, so we'll be needing to expand more as the game goes. Here comes a pretty solid knights forward though, but the mangonels risk running right into the castle here. Yeah, spots it in time, takes a little hit on the mangonels here, but is fine for now. Nice castle placement from Gustavvinho here as well. He's going to protect this gold, this stone, and a little bit of the woodlands here. What's the military composition here? Bob is wisely going for the Kamuyuks here. They are indeed the best counter for stable units, and I guess they would do decent against mangonels because they could get close and they don't need to be right next to the mangonel. They have that extra range, so they could still exploit the mangonel's minimum range by getting in the hit before they get right up next to it. Scores pretty even between these two. Still a villager and probably eco lead for Gustavvinho. Dangerously close to the Imperial Age here. Romulan93 says Bob a little bit too passive. Yeah, you're probably right, but I'd still say that the defensive measures are correct here. The issue being behind it eco and the fact that the enemy will reach Imperial Age earlier. So it is 17 fishing ships now for Bob, so that's something that Gustavvinho should have definitely tried to contest, because that's lots of free food. Imperial Age on the way for Bob as well, and ships still making a little bit of harassment on land here, attacking the outmost farmers. And I mean, with Incas, maybe you could justify making a few Eagle Scouts just for some extra map vision here now. And, well, I mean, the outposts are great. They provide some map intel here. Here comes a TC on the berries and woodland here. So there's definitely some expansion from Bob as well. But this is just a few tiles away from noticing. And if you had some mobility in the Eagles, specifically here, this castle would have never happened. Transport Vils, drop a castle in the back of Gustav's base. Yeah, that would be a sneaky one. I'd love to see that. Villagers with the upgrades as well, so Knights raids for Gustavvinho will actually struggle a bit more than against generic villagers here, because the blacksmith upgrades, attack and defense upgrades apply to villagers of Incas. And it looks indeed like Bob is going into the Eagle Warriors here now with Imperial Age. The Elite Eagle Warrior will also be an option. Military numbers are similar between the players. Bob has the counters prepared. And now an Eagle Scout out, soon to be Eagle Warrior to... Okay, we'll at least snipe this one, I guess. I have to say Gustavvinho is kind of passive as well, though, adding army obviously, but not really pushing with Trebs with the earlier Imperial age, so that's a bit surprising to me that the Trebs aren't out sooner, although it takes a little bit of time to build them. But a good share of the map. It looks like Gustavvinho has the better end of the map, though there's more golds and stones to the north than there is to the south. This will run out at some point. Treb is firing away now, conscription going in for Bob. And yeah, Treb on the way, that's out. Has 2 castles as well, so could actually outnumber the Trebs of the opponent here. Halberdier is in, and the Kamuyuks inside the castles as well. Here comes the Treb to challenge. It's very forward though, but here comes the units to defend it, so should be okay. I love the houses here as well, to make sure that the knights can't just run in under the castle fire and snipe this Treb. It's 2 against 1 though, and the castle requiring more villagers to repair as to not go down. Not enough halberdiers and Kamuyuks here, I think, to challenge these cavalier here. They are fully upgraded Imperial Cavalier and Boyars in the mix as well, making use of the castle here, Gustavvinho. 1 Treb seems to be going down. Yeah, looks grim here right now. Nice patting by my hubs too. Yeah, true. That patting is sometimes a joke, no less. So Gustavvinho with some good raids here now. We'll see the villager numbers shifting after a while. Military number is worrying as well. It's twice the military numbers for Gustavvinho. Bob with the counters, but not nearly with the numbers necessary. Still eco in the bank to produce a little bit, but man, slabs can even out when Fishboom feels bad, man. GG. GG indeed. It was absolutely an even match, and controlling water, that's a big deal for Incas here. And against any other civ than slabs, the ecos would have been a lot more even. Well, slabs, Teutons, Chinese, maybe those civs, and Khmer with farming bonuses, but any other civ and Incas would be in a great spot controlling water here. He outmassed you indeed. So I see 4 barracks here and a couple of castles. But yeah, overall eco in the end. The first raids maybe took worse hits than expected as well. Alright, let's look at the stats here and dive into game number 2, which will be on Bob's home map. '89 to 38. And Gustavvinho with a ridiculous food score here with those farms. Uptime's quicker as well, that's a big deal as well. Fuel age is pretty similar though, and that water fighting paid off for Bob to some extent. But Gustavvinho really adapted and went for the land eco. 106 to 88 villagers in the end, and then the army numbers. See Bob with the counter army here, but just wasn't enough, and bad pathing as mentioned as well didn't really help.